We are getting an unprecedented and disturbing look inside an organized ring of high-priced prostitutes, online review sites, luxury brothels, all operating right under our noses here in Western Washington.
Completely changing what you might think of when you think of these types of things. The investigation is right here, just published this morning by the Seattle Times Online. Busted: how police brought down a tech-savvy prostitution network in Bellevue. Reporter Lynn Thompson broke this story. She's with us now. This reads like a dystopian novel. We're talking about Amazon and Microsoft employees, managers, higher-ups, executives using their tech skills as a part of this ring. They housed these women, they involved trading with this women, and they reviewed and recruited these women. The layers to this are unbelievable. How long did this investigation take for you as far as writing this story, and what were you most surprised to uncover?
It was a good year to work on this. What was most surprising to me was how extensive this network was of men buying sex online. I had no idea. Prosecutors said there were probably 100 sites in the King County area where men could go online and buy sex. This particular one, there were two websites. One, the review board, had been around for 15 years and had about 23,000 members, most of them local. The other one that these tech executives and other men who were high-frequency sex buyers, they created a special website called K-Girl Delights just to advertise and promote Korean prostitutes who were in these luxury Bellevue apartments.
And it's incredible, the level of detail. They used, a lot of them, their own tech savvy, their experience at Microsoft and Amazon to really build, apps and review process. It's like the Yelp of the sex trade.
That's what the prosecutors said. They wrote really explicit reviews that were online. They rated these women's looks, their energy level, what sex acts they were willing to perform, whether they would recommend them and with what degree of enthusiasm. And it's really disturbing to read these reviews.
And yet they seem to use such a lack of discretion. Not only were they meeting in public places with each other to talk about it and to trade details, they even said that when they came in to bust this particular group, the entire restaurant went quiet except for this group of men who kept talking, completely oblivious. A lot of them used their work emails. A lot of them used company letterhead when they were communicating. Why were they so braggadocious about this?
Well, the inner group was more secretive. They knew that what they were doing was illegal, and they took steps to try to keep their identity anonymous. They used pseudonyms like Captain America and Tomcat 007. They did meet in public places, and I think they thought, aren't we great that we've created this and we can go see these girls whenever we want? And a lot of them made a lot of money, and I think there was a sense here of entitlement. We work hard, we're professionals. This is a bonus, this is a perk for us.
It feels like when we've reported on prostitution busts in the past, they have this seedy feel to them. It's motels in bad parts of town. It's North Aurora. This is something on a whole different level. I
was shocked that this activity was going on in downtown Bellevue. I'm not a crime reporter, I'm the East Side reporter, and Bellevue has a squeaky clean reputation for being a really safe city. And so I think this was surprising to many people, not just that this activity was going on in these high-end luxury apartments, but that it was so extensive.
How did the prosecutors decide to handle not just the men that they arrested, but the women who were involved?
The men they charged with, many of them charged with felonies, promoting prostitution, because they felt that the conduct, renting apartments, writing reviews, taking them the Korean women to and from the airport, they felt that conduct resembled more like pimping rather than just single men going to see a prostitute. So a lot of them, it was the first of its kind in the country where a group of sex buyers were charged as an organized criminal enterprise. The women, we don't know specifically what happened to them. Detectives said there are ads, some of them have shown up in Los Angeles. They were offered services. They were given translators to talk to.
So they weren't all rounded up and arrested?
No,
in the
they
same
were
way the men
not.
were.
And that's part of King County's approach. And it's been going on for about 3 or 4 years, that the women are generally vulnerable, whatever circumstances they came out of. You know, they are doing this for the money. It's not savory work. It's not what they would choose to do if they had a choice. And so they're treated as victims and offered services. But what the detectives told me is a lot of them, this is their life. They have some kind of handler who's, you know, telling them, you know, here's where you go, here's your next job, moving them around the country. And very few, they say very few women get out of that life once they're in it.
Lynn Thompson, this story is just heartbreaking, but also eye-opening. I know it's going to be in print in the Sunday edition, but already online, seattletimes.com. Some incredible illustrations as well by one of your really talented artists at the Times. Thank you for being here this morning. We really encourage everybody to go out and read this morning or pick up the Sunday Times.